Hey everyone, welcome back. I am Rob, and you are in the 2014 edition of In the Abyss. So, like yesterday, I'm going to start with the music side because I only have a couple albums I want to talk about, and then we will go on the film side. I have a few that I am just going to mention, go over, either because I don't own them or because they're not quite good enough to make this list. And then we have a pretty good stack, decent year for film in 2014. So, starting on the music side, I'm going to go with Billy Idol, Kings and Queens of the Underground. This is his next album after Devil's Playground, which we talked about, several episodes ago. And like I said, acting is about collaboration, right? You see people work together well, and it's because they have a connection. Well, Billy Idol and his guitar player, Steve Stevens, have that collaboration when it comes to playing together, but then also with their songwriting. And in the heyday with, White Wedding, Rebel Yell, and things like that, that's them together. And there was a period of time where Steve Stevens had left, and the quality was just not the same. It wasn't the same Billy Idol stuff. But Steve Stevens came back with Devil's Playground, a really great album. We talked about it, and this is another one that just falls in line with that. It's a good Billy Idol rock and roll record, and if you like him, if you like some of his older stuff, check this out because and Devil's Playground because they kind of bring back that kind of feel, but in the 2000s, not the 80s. So it's cool. He's really good in this, and he sounds great still. All right, next up is a band that I haven't talked about yet, a band called Sabaton. This is a really cool band, and the main reason why is because all of their material is based on historical wars, people, battles, battleships, airplanes, everything. Everything is lyrically based around historical wars and things like that. And on this album, Heroes, this is basically exactly what it is. It's more specifically around people in history during war that were heroes one way or another. And a couple of those examples would be first song is Night Witches, which is about a Russian bomber brigade. I think they were the 588th bomber brigade of all women, and this is their story. Night Witches. Inmate 4859 is about a guy who was a main figure in getting a revolution going at Birkenau Auschwitz concentration camp, and that was his inmate number. To Hell and Back is about Audie Murphy, which is one of the most decorated American soldiers from World War II. So you get a kind of an idea of where they're going with this album, and it's super cool, and it's a history lesson. It makes you want to look up what the story's about, who is about. So if you go to Sabaton on Wikipedia and go to their discography, you will be able to, next to each song, it will tell you what the song's about for all their albums, and it's really cool. They're amazing. They're talented. Yes, they are heavy metal, and if you can get past that style of music, if you're not a fan, and really get into the historical part of it, they're very talented. For me, being a heavy metal guy, love them. Great band. Sabaton, Heroes. Next up, a band I really, really like, Delane. Charlotte Wessels is just an amazing vocalist. This is my second favorite album by them. My favorite by them will be coming up in a couple episodes, but The Human Contradiction. It's really strong. There's a lot of really, really good songs on here. It's one of those female-fronted bands that we've talked about several times now through the years. And I think this band may be the best of all of them. They're just really, really good and really, really strong, and she's pretty amazing. And at one point, they had a female guitar player as well, and she was very, very good, but she left to, do her own thing. So, there's definitely some talented musicians there, and Delane is a really strong band, and you should check them out. All right, number one for 2014, Mastodon. Once More Around the Sun. I really like this album. There was a period of time in 2014 where it was on repeat. I was just listening to it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Tread Lightly as the opener is phenomenal. The Motherlode is great. High Road is terrific. The title track, Once More Around the Sun, or Once More Round the Sun is technically how you say it. And then there's a song on here, Halloween. Anytime a band puts out a song called Halloween, I'm in. I'm a big Halloween fan. And there's several bands that have done Halloween songs that I love. Of course, the epic Halloween's Halloween is the best. But this is just another one of those ones in line that will be on a playlist in October. Just a really good, strong album. Crazy artwork. It's really super cool. And another thing cool about this band is kind of like we were talking about with Ghost yesterday. They kind of evolve with each album. They kind of sound kind of changes. And I know for some like hardcore fans, they want the same thing over and over again. And I kind of want that too, but I also want something different. If I get the same thing over and over and over again, I'll just go to the best album of all of those. But when you get something that is different, it makes each album its own unique thing, and that's what makes you go, oh, I want to listen to this today or that. It can't always be the same, and they're continually evolving, and that's what they should do. That's how you stay successful, being creative, right? Taking risks. We talk about it all the time, and they're no different. Really, really, really strong record. And like I said, listen to it on loop a lot, and that's one of the criterias, and that's why it's my number one for 2014. Okay, so now off to the movies. A couple I want to talk about. Yesterday I forgot to mention Lone Survivor. Really, really like that film. But it's one of those ones, you see it once or twice, you're good. It's just a hard subject matter to watch and repeat, or even to own that movie, And the reason I bring that up is because American Sniper is on my list to talk about. I don't own it because, once again, it's just too hardcore to watch over and over and over again. It's a great movie. Bradley Cooper does a great job. It's the Chris Kyle story is very interesting. The documentaries I've seen, all that stuff, it's just amazing and crazy all at the same time. Tragic. But those are two movies I wanted to talk about because I really do enjoy them, but I don't own them because I just don't know if those are movies that I would out of nowhere just go watch. I've seen them a couple times, and I think that's enough. But that's just me. I wanted to talk about The Judge, Robert Duvall, Robert Downey Jr. It's an okay movie. I got it as a viewer during the SAG Awards. I wanted to bring it up because Sarah Lancaster, a former student of mine, started studying when she was 15. Plays Robert Downey Jr.'s ex-wife in it, and it's always good to see your students succeed. And Sarah was a hard worker and been doing it a long time, and to see her, when she was in the class, was doing Saved by the Bell, the new class, and watch her evolve into, the actress that she's become, and to see her in a heavyweight film like this is pretty cool to see. Another one I want to mention, Nonstop. Liam Neeson, the next in line of that formula we've talked about, except this time it's on an airplane. Same deal, airplane. I like the movie. I don't like it as much as some of the other ones we've spoken about, but we've talked enough about these movies that, it was a cusp movie for me, so I decided just to mention it and not necessarily show it. I also think I have it on DVD, and I don't know why, because I'm pretty much done at this point with DVDs, so who knows. Guardians of the Galaxy, I've never seen it. I've seen parts of the second one, and I've seen them in the Avengers and stuff like that. I've never seen it. My son tells me all the time I need to watch it, and I guess I need to watch it. Just haven't seen it yet. Crazy as it may seem, but there's other movies before, Marvel movies that I would like to watch. The last one I want to mention is, a comedy real quick. Sex Tape, Cameron Diaz. She does a good job in it. But I wanted to point that out because there's just a funny scene where she goes to see Rob Lowe. And we've talked about Rob Lowe with those comedic chops that he has. And he's her boss, and she's going to, distract him so they can retrieve the laptop or the iPad or whatever it is, with the sex tape on it. And he says, "Do you mind if I put some music on?" And she's like, "No, go ahead." he's like romantic and nice and everything like that. And he puts on Slayer's Angel of Death. It's just hysterical, and he just plays it off so simple. It's just a really funny scene. So I wanted to mention that just because it makes me chuckle. But the last movie I want to talk about before I show you my list is Birdman. I don't know how to feel about this movie. It gets all the hype and all the stuff, and I love Michael Keaton and I like Edward Norton. Not a big Emma Stone fan, but I like I like Naomi Watts. She does a good job. I want to like this movie. I want to buy this movie. I want to own it. I have the viewer from the SAG Awards back in the day, but I want to own it on Blu-ray and stuff like that. I don't know. I may have to just watch it a few more times and maybe I'll enjoy it more. So maybe I'll wait for a good price, get it on Blu-ray and give it a shot because, I'm not sure. You tell me. Tell me what you think. Tell me how you feel about it. Like I said, the acting is good. I just don't know what I think about the movie. So anyways, moving on to the ones I'm going to show you. Exodus, Gods and Kings. You got Moses. You got King Ramses. We've talked about this in my epics. I really like these stories. I like these history ones where you as an actor, we've talked about it numerous times now, being able to go back in time and live, in the shoes of Moses or King Ramses or any of them. It's just great. And to be in an epic film would be amazing. This is right up my alley for my kind of movie. Next up, the Grand Budapest Hotel. It's an interesting movie, it's good and it's weird and it's different and it's fun. This was a no-brainer for me because I like the people in it. $3.99 at Black Friday. I had to get it. They have a Criterion version. I just don't get getting Criterions when the movies are so new. They're going to look good in standard Blu-ray. I don't know if you need an upgrade to a movie that's already pretty modern. I like the Criterions more for the older films restored, but this is plenty for me. My son likes this movie a lot, but it had to be mentioned because I know a lot of you guys out there enjoy it as well. The next installment of Dawn of Planet of the Apes. Like I said before, I'm a huge fan of the franchise. I think they did a really good job with these, and they're connected in a way to the originals, but different in their own right. Glad to see Franco out of them. Not a huge fan, but I do enjoy this movie. I actually like the third one the best of the three, but this connects the next dot from the first one to this. Like I said, if you're a fan of these kinds of movies, these are really good. But watch the originals first, all 5 of them, then go to these and see what you think. This next up, I think, is a great concept. I think Disney is missing the boat by not capitalizing on these things more, and that is Maleficent. Angelina Jolie, she is phenomenal. And what I mean by missing the boat is not doing a Maleficent 2, which they did. I'm talking about doing movies about the villains and how they become the villains. I love this kind of stuff. You are really sympathetic toward her because when you see her story and see how she becomes who and what she becomes, it makes her human, and it makes the villain sympathetic, kind of like a Darth Vader. And Disney can do that with all of the Disney villains. And I think that they're really missing the boat by not capitalizing on that. If I had the money, I'd be doing it. But I think this is a really, really good movie. It's shot beautifully. We talk about that quite a bit. The colors, the scenery, and then the acting's phenomenal. She's a really good actress. And she does a great job in this movie. I really enjoy it. I have yet to see the second one. I need to check it out. All right, Kevin Costner, Amber Heard, 3 Days to Kill. Cool, fun story. Kind of like we've talked about several times now with Kevin Costner. He has really come into his own. He's a terrific actor. This is a fun movie, thriller, action, shoot 'em up. He does a really, really good job in it. I love this movie. This is another blind buy for me. It just sounded cool. Bought it, right when it came out, and I like it a lot. Like, when you have somebody who really understands how to behave now, and you use that in his movies, you just get some pretty solid things, and it's not as popular as other movies that have been coming out, and so they get lost. And so I want to bring these up so you guys will go, oh yeah, I've heard of it, or I forgot about it, or oh, I've never heard of that, or I was going to give that a shot. Whatever it is, I think that's what makes this cool, is oh yeah, let's check it out, it's good. All right, the next Tom Cruise movie, Live, Die, Repeat, Edge of Tomorrow. Another kind of futuristic, impossible type, scenario. Emily Blunt, who I like a lot, does a great job with Tom Cruise in this. And it is basically what you see, live, die, and repeat. I'm not going to give too much away, but it is another one of those movies. Maybe I need to watch it again to understand it, or to kind of follow it a little bit more. Not necessarily understand it, but follow it a little bit more. And I like movies like that because a lot of movies are one and done. I like movies where, hey, I want to go revisit that and see what I missed, or what else is there. You know what I mean? We were talking last night in class about my family watching Grease the other night, and when they restore these movies to their original aspect ratio that you would have saw on the screen, it's like rewatching the movie, because you see so many things on the sides that were cut out when they kind of shortened it for TV. So even seeing classics like Grease, now years later, after seeing it so many times and being able to kind of experience it differently, is super cool. And with a movie like this, not necessarily a great movie that you're going to watch over and over and over and over and over again, but it is one of those ones you want to revisit because of understanding it. And that's what I love. It's not a one-off. It's one that you need to keep watching, right? And enjoy. And you have good acting. And once again, you got Tom Cruise doing his formula right off the heels of Oblivion, doing another futuristic type alien movie. You know what I mean? And it makes it fun to watch. He understands what sells. Another original movie, fun movie, Colin Firth, Samuel L. Jackson, Michael Caine, Kingsman. This is a really good movie. Really enjoyable. It has the action, it has the thriller to it, but it also has some fun comedy to it. A really, really good movie. Once again, I mentioned my son now a third time. One of his favorite movies. He just loves them. He loved the second one as well. I have yet to see that. I do have it. I just haven't watched it yet. But I really liked this first one. It was really good, and enjoyable and different, unique. And that's what we want. Something different, creative, unique. All right, down to the last couple. This was tough, so I kind of went by what I watched the most, what I enjoy, what were top films, that kind of thing. So number 3 is Denzel Washington and The Equalizer. Super cool movie. The way it's filmed, the way it's shot, the way that they do the timing, the way that they have him through his eyes envision what's going to happen. It's really cool. It's a really good movie, and he's great in it. He's badass in it. This is a really good movie. I really enjoy it. Never get tired of it. And like I said, in most years, probably could be number 1. But there's 2 that I like a little bit better, that I would watch a little bit more. But once again, we just talked about with Tom Cruise. Here's Denzel, doing the formula and capitalizing big time. Coming off of Two Guns, doing a movie like this is off the charts. It's a great movie. All right, so my runner-up, and you know what? This is probably the best film of 2014, in my opinion. But it's not number 1 because I watch number 1 more often than this one, and that is the criteria. So my favorite for 2014 is different than what I would say is the best film for 2014, and that is Whiplash. This is, J.K. Simmons, as the teacher is just off the charts, and then Miles Teller. And what I love about this is there's such a realism to this film. The scene where he's slapping him for the timing and stuff like that, that is really happening, and you're seeing, authentic feelings and emotion and energy in that moment, and it's just so strong and so real and so good. This movie is so strong. It is a great film. It's original. It's well acted. And like I said, it is the best film in my mind for 2014. It's a must watch, and I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen it. But I just really enjoy it. And like I said, in most years, this is number one. And in a sense, you know what? I take that back. This is number one for 2014. It's just not my favorite for 2014. That goes to Kevin Costner in Draft Day. Jennifer Gardner does a great job in this. Dennis Leary, Chadwick Boseman. We talked about him with 42 yesterday. I just love this story. It's fun. The acting's great. I've talked about this several times. I love movies that just cover a day. That's what this does. Give me football. It's great. Give me the Cleveland Browns. It's fun. It is. And I like the way it's shot. And what I mean by that is, where he's walking into a shot and crosses through another shot, and you have someone else's shot coming through, and they kind of blend and then cross. It's kind of unique and different. I also like when they implement each team, they show you their stadium and then say home of whatever team it is, home of the Browns. You know what I mean? Home of the Texans, home of the Chiefs. And it's cool because it takes you through a lot of the stadiums, and then you have the interaction. You kind of get, for non-football fans, the inner workings of the things that go on during the morning and day leading up to the first round of the draft. And then, of course, it has, movie fiction, things that you would go, that would never happen. But that's what makes movies great. And I never get tired of this. This one is, whenever I'm on a plane, I'm watching this one, especially when I'm flying on my fantasy football trips. I just love it. If it's on TV, I'll sit and watch it. It doesn't matter what part. I just really, really enjoy this film. And that's why it's number one for 2014. It's my favorite. The best, Whiplash. My favorite, Draft Day. So there you have it. It's kind of weird. It's the first time this has happened where I would say a movie is number one for a year, but isn't my number one. So in a sense, I'll just say I have two number ones. So, my videos, I get to do what I want. Anyways, leave your comments. I'd love to see what your number one is. I also want to see what you guys think of Birdman. And like I said, keep the likes coming, the subscribes. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that. Help me out. This is for my students. This is for, the people to watch, to enjoy. It's for people to want to kind of investigate and watch movies. It's for all that stuff. So, pass the word and let's get others involved. And we'll see you for 2015 tomorrow.